Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Reptile Ramblings. As always, I'm your host, Nate, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Bryant.
Hey, Ramblers.
And today we are honored to be joined by a special herper, an Aussie herper, so someone all the way from Dan Enda, Mr. Nilan, Kumarage. Under Instagram, you can find him as Nilan K Photography. So, welcome to the show, Nilan.
Alrighty, thanks for having me on, guys. Keen to get started.
Oh, we're keen to get talking to you.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Feel like a bit of a fish out of water though, like with the other guests you've had on. So hopefully I live up to the standard somewhat.
Standards are only like a few centimeters off.
Yeah, the standards can't be too high, But
Is that
no,
a dig it right or what?
I set the bar. But no, dude. Great to have you on. You said, obviously, off air, you said based out of New South Wales.
Yeah.
And, we were talking about weather. We're kind of old heads for talking about it, but kind of give us a scoop. You guys are entering summer, right?
Yeah, so December's the start of our summer.
Sure.
Obviously, complete opposite for you guys. But like I said to you guys a couple minutes ago, two days ago, it was 40 degrees. So that's, I think, close to 110 Fahrenheit.
Something around there. Yeah.
Something close to that. But I think Christmas Day is meant to be nice. I think it's around 27 degrees. So that's perfect weather for me.
Like in the 70s, yeah.
I only like these hot days if I'm going herping. If I'm not going herping, then what's the point, really?
Well, I try not to bring it up, but you could be birding or mammaling. I mean,
No, don't even talk about that. What even is that? What? I don't waste my time on stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's where I was a couple of years ago, but now I'm a bit more open-minded to it. Especially birding, just because they are technically reptiles. So,
You know what, though? Having said that, like, I always thought, nah, stuffed birds, like, not even going to waste my time on them. And then recently I was on a walk in the Blue Mountains, and I saw this tiny little bird, and it just kept on flying around the tree that I was standing at. And for about half an hour, we just watched it, and every 2 minutes it just stop, look at us, fan its feather tails out. I was like, wow, this thing's actually pretty cool. So maybe birds will catch my interest soon. Who knows?
well, do you guys have the bower birds in New South
Yeah,
Wales?
we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's
awesome,
sick.
dude.
I actually found I saw a female just outside my house like 2.5 weeks ago. So that was the first time I'd
Okay.
seen one at my place. But yeah, they're
Are they
so
are they
cool.
both sexes drab, or is the male a little bit more? Because
No, so the
yeah,
male, also juvenile males look like females, so they're quite just browny, olivey green.
yeah. Mm.
Males are jet black with like a blue chest. Like they're
Okay,
insane.
that's what
They're
I
called
thought. Yeah.
satin bellbirds. So they're very like shimmery and shiny. They're very, very beautiful.
That also reminds me of, and I'm sorry, Nate, I know we're getting off on a tangent already with birding, but also
Yeah.
the fairy wrens. Like you guys got, those are
Yeah.
awesome birds too, because
Yeah, they're really cool.
the males are mostly blue, and it's just like such a reflective blue too. It's just unreal.
And it's crazy, like I don't know about you guys, but in Sydney in particular, like we get a shit ton of birds.
Sure.
We get
Yeah.
like heaps of parrots, beautiful wrens, finches, like a lot of different stuff. So all these fairy wrens and stuff, we will see in our backyards all the time. We see king parrots, rosellas, cockatoos. I think I've seen 9 different species of parrot just in my backyard. Like this, it's just crazy the amount of birds that we actually do get to see on a regular basis. It's pretty cool.
It is crazy. It's just a walk away. As for us, it's kind of a drive for us to go to our local pet store.
Yeah.
And nowadays they don't even really sell that many kinds of parrots, which is it could be a positive and negative, but you just don't see the same diversity anymore.
Yeah, it's a damn shame our one native species of parrot went extinct.
That was the Louisiana? No,
Carolina.
what? Carolina. That's right.
Yeah, here in the
Yeah.
eastern U.S., something's either a Virginia or a Carolina.
Okay.
Something like that.
I mean, we don't need to be too sad. I mean, another kind of parrot that's taking place, in the southeast.
Well, there's a lot of like invasive. Well, I don't know if they're invasive, but there's a lot of introduced parrots, right? That you guys have got in the
I
States.
know for sure in Florida, and I think they're in the Carolinas as well. And don't I'll have to fact check, but
Which species of parrot is that?
all I know is they're green. They're not budgies, but maybe lorikeets, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll double check.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they send them like all the power lines and stuff, right? And they build their nests in the power boxes and they end up causing big fires and blackouts and stuff. That's what I've heard. I don't know. Could be wrong.
And the
Yeah,
occasional fried iguana, but that's more Florida. Uh,
that's funny.
but you take it away, Nate. You lead it as you is. This is your guest, so I'll give you the reins.
So, Nilan, you mind telling us how you first got into reptiles and herping in general?
So it's funny actually. I've always been an animal person, like no matter what they are. I've always liked them, I've always appreciated them. But I actually started off as a fish guy. Like I loved fish. And it was during so like I've always liked reptiles, but my niche was fish. Like I knew everything about fish. I used to have like I think 9 fish tanks going at once, just whatever I could keep. And then at the start of 2017, I want to say, so I was 13. I had started watching just do you know the King of DIY? He's a fish guy in Canada. Anyway, he had Brian Barczyk. I know he's controversial, but he had Brian Barczyk on his channel. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then that just started leading into a bit of a rabbit hole. And then I realized that there's actually a shit ton of reptiles in Australia as well, right outside my door, which I just didn't even think about. And it's funny, like I didn't see a wild snake, or like a snake in the wild, until I was probably 17.
Really?
And now when I go, I will always find them. But up until that point, you just didn't see them. Like they're not. People assume that Australia's just got snakes crawling around our cars and through the house and stuff, but they're not everywhere like that. So it can. But it can be pretty hard to actually get into herping in Sydney unless you know someone. So yeah, I started posting, like I started keeping geckos, and I've actually still got my first ever gecko that I got. It was a knobtail gecko. But then
Nice.
I started like posting photos of my captive stuff, and then you kind of just meet people. And then I've been really, really into reptiles and herping since probably 2020, 2019. That's when I got my camera and started putting a bit more effort into it. Sorry, that was quite long-winded. I don't even know if that was the
No,
question.
man.
I mean, the name of the show is Reptile Ramblings, after all.
That was very concise, man. That was very concise, man. It's funny. Would you say, when it comes to photography, so what came first? Reptiles, obviously, and then photography later on, or how did that
So
divulge?
I think it was at a similar time, but I wasn't doing reptile photography. I was really into my reptiles. I was really into my photography. I just didn't realize you could combine them. And then I started following people, like Aussie people, who were posting these insane photos. I was like, holy shit, like that's what I want to do. And then I realized you need like a diffuser, get a good flash, get a good macro lens, and then you're pretty much set for it, right? So after
Kind
that,
of hook, line, and sinker. Yeah.
exactly right. Exactly right.
Man, we should just not have such expensive hobbies.
Mate, tell me about it. Like once you start, you can't stop as well. It's like a drug. It's impossible.
It's a revolving progression that just never stops, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Chasing the dragon, feels like.
And the Atlanta Dragons.
Perfect saying, really. It's a perfect saying.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. That's fantastic. I'm curious. If you had to be dealt a hand, one without the other, which one would you give up? Herping or photography?
Photography.
Photography.
Any day.
Good deal.
Any day. Like that's
Solid answer.
And that's relatively tough because it's almost intrinsic with many herpers and many guests we've had on. You know, once you get into herping and you get into photography, they're kind of inseparable, the two.
See, look, for me, like photography is a hobby, herping's a passion.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Because I go herping all the time and I just leave my camera home because I'm just like, you know what, like I'm just feeling like walk. But if I'm going out with this like a decision to go like photographing stuff, then I will. But most of the time, I'll just go for a bushwalk near to my place and then go try and find whatever I can. You know, I've got my phone with me pretty much all the time anyway. So if I'm meaning to get evidence that I saw something, I've got it right there.
There you go.
Yeah, and just having one phone is so much cheaper than having a DSLR plus all the lenses and flash and diffuser
Exactly right.
and timer and everything.
Exactly.
Well, some of us have discounted, lenses, but still, I know.
That was a bit of a low shot, mate. That was a low shot.
Yeah. Well, some of us don't. Not all of us have an extra set of lenses on our faces.
He's probably got the best vision as well now. So.
I don't know about that, but no, you got some good gear, man. And I've skimmed a little bit of your Instagram accounts and geckos. So you started with geckos. They were some of your first subjects to photograph. Am I wrong in assuming, or
No, you're right. So my first reptile was a knobtail gecko, knobtail, and he was a great test subject. So a lot of my early experimental photography was just with him in his enclosure, and I try and keep my enclosures naturalistic. Just think it's nicer for the animal, nicer to look at. But yeah, he was great to have as a subject because he was just so chill. He was easy to practice on, and that's how it really started. But in Sydney in particular, that's him. So his name's Dobby.
is that the little dude? Awesome,
Yeah.
Dobby.
Yeah,
Perfect.
big
name.
eyes, right? So yeah, he was great. But in Sydney, we've only got 4 native species of gecko, I think. So there wasn't heaps for me to find locally.
Still 4 more than me and Bryant have around.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm sure in some houses there's the odd house gecko. So
Oh,
you know.
dude, so I used to have these. I don't know if you've seen them. Leaf tail or broadtail geckos, Sydney broadtail geckos.
Yeah.
I used to have at least 6 of them around my house every single night. So I'd go out, just have a look at them, and I'd have like big males, like the size of my hand, on the side of the house. And in the last 2 years, I've stopped seeing them, and I only see these bloody house geckos now. So,
Oh boy.
Yeah, man.
you know what's like funny? I actually go catch them and I feed them to the kookaburra because I hate them so much. Like, I really hate them. They just ruin my whole gecko experience at home.
I mean, yeah, do your part. Obviously, to no fault of the geckos themselves, but I mean,
Of course,
Yeah, I
of
mean,
course.
at least you're serving native wildlife. It's
They're
it's
literally
funny
in
that
my
they
cupboards.
would
Like, I'll
outcompete.
open the pantry and these things will just fly out like everywhere. I was in the bathroom one time and I walked in at like midnight and I feel this thing land right next to me. I look down, this gecko's just sitting on the floor. What the hell's going on? Like,
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, of course, it's a Mediterranean geckos that are invasive in Australia as well.
exactly,
They're everywhere.
for real. And we get
I guess
Sorry.
Do you guys also have you ever seen any of those infamous Sydney, Australia corn snakes?
I'm yet to find one.
Okay.
You know, I've always said, like, if I was to find one, I'm just gonna, I didn't see anything. That's it.
under the table. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some people who take it home, but I don't want them. But
Yeah, fair enough.
they don't really do it for me too much, to be honest. Corn snakes. I did see my first red-eared slider not too long ago. So that was,
Red ears, of course.
No, that's an achievement. Wow. I didn't know they made it in the land of Oz. That's crazy.
well, so that wasn't in the wild, but this lady had come to my I just bumped into her and she said she was in a shopping center one day and this random man walked up to her and was like, "Do you want a turtle?" And she said, "Yeah." And then it turns out it's a red-eared slider. So
Do you want a turtle? Jeez.
yeah. And she just took it as well. Who does that?
People like turtles.
Not a single
Yeah. I mean, if a stranger walked up to me in the mall and offered me a turtle, I'm going to tell them no as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep your salmonella vectors as far away from me as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, keep your salmonella away. I mean, come on.
Exactly right. Stay away.
Yeah. So, how large round would you say it is in the carapace?
It was actually around like that big. So
Perfect salmonella carrier then.
Still, yeah, the sliders are probably set up to be a really aggressive turtle species if they were to like have a stronghold in Australia. Knock on wood, because I mean they're so prolific and like they're so durable. like hardy
So they
animals?
actually have established in Queensland now.
Oh man,
They are getting around, unfortunately.
shame.
But what are they limited to like urban centers, or are they actually in like rivers and
No,
streams?
it's all urban, like rivers and
Okay.
stuff at this point. In Sydney, they do turn up probably every year or two. You just get one or two in someone's garden or in a lake or a pond. One was recently, or actually not recently, probably a couple of years back. It was confiscated from this Buddhist temple, like a pond. So these authorities had like rushed in to grab this turtle out.
Of all the place to find an invasive turtle.
Oh hell, the slider god. That's funny.
Yeah.
Master Splinter, the cops, they're here for us.
You know, Nate. You know what we forgot? A
What?
little bit of housekeeping.
Oh, you're right. I completely forgot about a sponsorship. You want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
You go for it. I'm fuzzy today, man. You're better versed at this.
Okay, then. This episode, as always, is brought to you by Serpentine Expeditions, Ian Breland's company, connoisseur and provider of high-quality herping destinations all around the globe. So if you're looking to have a really high-quality herping expedition to, say, somewhere in Africa or Asia or South America, Serpentine Expeditions is the place for you. And if you do decide to go with them, when you go to checkout at booking, use code CK25 at checkout, and that'll get you $100 off your order. And listen, folks, in this economy, $100, that could be a difference between economy and business class. So, you use our code, you can have a lot more leg room on your flight over. And I haven't checked their website recently, but I think they still have slots open for their Ecuador trip in this April. So be sure to check them out, and like I said, use code CK25 at checkout for $100
Please,
off.
I mean, again, we can't talk enough good things about Ian and his crew. They do a fantastic job scouting and actually finding reasonable places to I guess have accommodations and touring, guiding it rather. Yeah, baby steps. But I'm skimming. I skimmed their page, and the Ecuador trip, it's still open. So please, I urge you guys. Ecuador is a fantastic country to herp in. I think April could be that semi-sweet spot. So yeah, please guys, take a gander at their company page and use our code.
Please.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled podcast. So, Nate,
Yes, sir.
take it away.
All right. Well, I'll try and find where I left off before I got reminded of my forgetfulness. So, Nilan, you're kind of blessed in living what some consider the best herping continent on the planet, but I know you're mostly based out of Sydney. So, what parts of Australia have you managed to get out and go herping in? Have you gone out into the desert, up Northern Territory, mostly just focused on the Sydney area? Where have you gone?
Yeah, so I'm 21. So I haven't had heaps of experience as an adult outside of home, really. I still live at home, but most of my herping has been in Sydney. Whenever I've gone away, like me and my family, we do a lot of road trips to the Red Centre and all that kind of stuff. So whenever I go out there, I'll try and convince someone to come with me. I don't want to go on my own, but yeah, I do mainly herping in Sydney, but I have done, I don't know, you probably haven't heard of it. It's a little place called Narrabri. It's about 7 hours north of Sydney. It's a mining town. So I've done a little bit of ecological like surveying work up there. I did that I was up there in Feb this year. So we were there for around 12 days, herping every single day. That was awesome. And then I've done a bit of Queensland herping as well. So when I was significantly younger, like I was 5 years old, we used to live in Queensland. But since then I've gone back quite a few times. And whenever I'm up there, we go into the rainforest and try and find scrubbies and carpet pythons and all that kind of stuff.
Nice, man. I want to go back to you guys going to the Red Center. Now, usually when you hear about trips in Australia, I always hear the recommendation of getting like a 4x4 or this and that. Yeah. When you guys go, obviously, mainly for family vacay, I mean, do you guys have a 4x4 vehicle, or is it just regular?
So we don't have a 4-wheel drive, but it's like a Subaru. Do you know a Subaru Forester?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's like that.
Okay.
It's not a small
That's pretty.
car, but
They're pretty capable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Apparently, you guys aren't aware of the stereotype in America about Subaru drivers.
oh yeah, what's the stereotype?
Mostly just lesbians.
Okay, yeah, right.
Well, that's funny you say that, but also quite a few herpers have Subarus, so they're pretty hot with herpers all around. It seems.
Fair enough.
We've got the soccer mom stereotype for foresters.
I can see that.
Right on.
Don't you guys have utes as well, which are basically kind of what do you call it, sliced off station wagons?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's kind of like a pickup truck, like a Ram truck, but normally it's a bit smaller, or it's a 2-door with just a big trailer back. But yeah, back to your question previously, like once you get probably 10 hours out of Sydney, it all turns to dirt road pretty much.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's the best way to do it. I mean, even 6 hours out, you get the red soil, but you're still on mainly tarred road. But yeah, the most fun roads are the red, just dirt roads that are like 30 meters wide, and road trains come screaming past you. But it's awesome. It's so desolate. Like I've driven with a mate 300 kilometers in one day, and we saw one car.
Really?
So that's kind of where you're at. If you get stopped or stuck, then it's not ideal.
No, but it is fascinating that there's still corners of the world or countries of the world where you kind of still can have that kind of isolation type of deal.
It's
Obviously,
amazing.
be ready yourself, be prepared for the worst and or the best. But yeah, it's a privilege since here in the States we have small chunks where you can relatively have that sense of feel, but it's becoming less and less apparent, especially with like some higher ups in the current admin. But I digress. I digress. Well, let me piggyback off that. So with the family vacations, I mean, how are your family members with you and your passion with reptiles? Do they support it? Are they neutral? And
Okay, so looking at me, looking at my name, you can tell I'm South Asian. My mum's Indian, my dad's Sri Lankan. So they've always grown up with a very strong fear of snakes.
I would assume so, yeah.
But the more I've gotten into it, the more they've come to appreciate them. So when I got my first diamond python, mum was like terrified of it. And then within a month or two, she was just sitting and staring at it. She would take photos, not too close, but she would take photos. And whenever she sees one out in the wild, she'll go take a photo of it and send it to me straight away. As far as herping goes, they still freak out a lot. Because I'll be like, oh yeah, going out back at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? You've got no reception.
Yeah, mom's freaking out, not knowing where you are or anything.
No, see, I made the error of sending them a photo of me holding a brown, and
Rookie mistake.
the group chat just blows up. Why are you doing that? What is wrong with you? Like I get the whole lecture when I get home. You don't care about yourself. Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah,
that's not happening again.
Yeah, your mother's ignorance is bliss.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Even
to be fair, I probably would have that response at first, just because with Nate and I mean, you have probably a bit more experience, Nate, but elapids are just completely different ballpark for us compared to our vipers.
I don't know, man. I mean, a copperhead can be kind of feisty, and our vipers pack a punch too.
They could be punchy. They could be yeah. I mean, our elapids are pretty dainty and like they're awesome, but come on, they're a far cry from what you guys got.
We have the coral snakes.
Oh, the coral snakes, right?
Yep.
Those are the only elapids you got?
Yep.
Those are the only ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have the 3 species: Eastern, Texas, and the Arizona.
Yeah, I mean,
while you have like king. Oh my bad, I cut in. But while you have like king browns and browns, like I guess posing and striking at you, we have our corals which just have 10-second seizures. It's a far cry.
Oh, so that's all. They just like freak out.
They're very spastic.
Yeah, what they do is they curl up the ends of their tail to make it look like their head, and they basically just start flailing around in order to try and get you to lose sense
right.
lose which sense of which ends the head and which ends the tail, and so hopefully you don't grab the head instead you grab the tail, and they could turn back around on you.
Kind of like a more spastic bandy. It's maybe the closest thing to relate it to.
Yeah.
You know?
But like the thing is though, like with my parents, it's not like they're seeing one snake. Oh, yeah, no, that's a completely harmless snake. Oh no, that's like a venomous one. Like they just see a snake and it's a snake. For example, I was with my mom recently and we were driving in a national park and I just slammed on the brakes because this green tree snake had just darted off in front of me. And I jump out and I grab it and she's like, ah, like,
you
just
viewed it. You just viewed it, right? You just saw that green python, or what was it?
Well, so it's called it's like a dendril. Do you know what?
Yeah,
exactly.
Tree snake.
Yeah,
okay.
tree snake. But yeah, she just sees a snake and that's it. And then she's having like, I'm like, it's fine.
Palpitations, yeah.
Completely harmless. It's not gonna hurt you. Like, no, it's gonna hurt. Like,
those are actually pretty cool because and maybe you could touch more on it. They're pretty phenotypically variable, aren't they? Like a lot
100%.
of colors.
100%. So, in Sydney, they're pretty dull. Majority of them, they're like an olive kind of green color with a little bit of yellow flecking on their sides. Obviously, you get the really pretty ones, which have got like blue bars. But the further north you go, the more blue they get. And some populations are like almost entirely blue. So they're like a sky blue, majority sky blue, and then dark blue on the back. And then when you get into the Northern Territory, you get the golden phase. So they're like a gold colored snake with like a dark green. Yeah, they're awesome.
And they're one of the only few actual colubrids in Australia because again, going back on it, you guys have a majority of lapids and pythons.
Yep, I think we've only got five or six colubrids. So
that's wild.
It's like a complete switch with you guys, right?
100%.
You've got the lapids, you've got the colubrids.
Yeah, well, the more I look into colubrids, the more I realize it has to be broken up and split into a bunch of different groups. So, like, we have the true colubrids, which would be like the Pituophis, Lamprepeltis, Pantherophis, Dromarchon, to name a few. Those are the true colubrids. Yeah, so like the classic non-venomous constrictors we have here in North America, plus some rear fangs. And those guys are pretty much everywhere and everything around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's the I can't believe playing on the group the hognoses and ringnecks. What's their group again?
Dipset.
And then there what's the snake immune to cane toads? What's that again?
It's a keelback.
Keelbacks, right?
Oh, okay.
But not the same genus as the Asian ones, I don't think.
Yeah, that's in nature scenes with the water snakes and garter snakes we have here. But I mean, none of them look quite as good as this snake you have right here.
Yeah, that was a cool snake. That was my first one I'd found in that location. I'd seen people had caught them already, but that was the first one I saw, and I was like, holy shit! Like this is just nuts. It was so. Again, that was 15 minutes from my place. I live in a very, very bushy area in Sydney, so I live on the national park. If you go on my profile, Nate, I've got a pinned photo of a diamond python.
Well, before that, I'm curious. With those,
that was in my backyard.
That's gorgeous. Jeez. No, I was going to say with the. Wow.
If you go to the next slide, like I was literally putting washing on the line, and I looked down, and this thing's just sitting on the floor.
Glowing,
man.
dude. Wow. Yeah, there's definitely one. Ramblers. Once we have the video out, definitely take a look because these are fantastic animals that Nilan has seen. Video, photograph.
Yeah, this makes me miss mine.
Oh, you had them?
I used to.
What happened?
Long.
She was old when I got her, so.
Yeah, they're the best. I think, honestly, probably my favorite snake to keep.
Yeah.
It's tough when it comes to, and I've talked with Nate about this before. It's tough when it comes to Aussie herps because the stock, what we have is what we have. Obviously, we could kind of extend the genetic profile by going to like Europe and whatnot. But for the most part, we're not getting really relatively new blood in. And yeah, I would rather just see Aussie herps in the wild first. I mean, just seeing a diamond python, the first thought that came into my mind is like, oh, I would love to have one, bro. Like you were thinking, Nate. But then it's just like there's so much what do you call it? Not conjecture about like purity, locality, and yada yada, and then you get into this nitty gritty. I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. But then you have other things like the carpets in New Guinea, which we still can, or Papua, excuse me, whatever. You still can get new imported blood.
Yeah,
so
IJs.
It's a weird catch-22. I love the Aussie herps. I'm thankful we have them in the States, but I just fear that in our lifetime they're going to get kind of messed up.
Well, I always see carpets in the US, and none of them look like the ones we get over here.
Especially beardies, like bearded dragons, look nothing like what you guys have.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What's this? You mean to tell me that beardies don't look like they exclusively feed on crickets and roaches?
I mean, they look like a plush. They look like a plush toy, beardy. They don't even look like. They're just a far cry now, unfortunately.
And I just feel like genetically they can't be very sound. Like,
no,
you've got that many pairings of this such similar lines. I feel like eventually they're all just going to come out a bit mutated and just not right.
Look,
well, where do you think the scaleless morphs come from?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just line breeding to keep them going. I mean, that's how we have the the silkies. And obviously, I don't want to poo-poo on anybody working with them, but I am not a fan. I mean, you're basically removing the best parts of a bearded dragon.
Yeah, let's take an animal well known for being spiky and take away 95% of its texture with a mutation.
Yeah, like deerskin. Deerskin. Let's go with that.
Well, that's a soft way of putting it.
I'm curious. Do beardies range into New South Wales?
Yeah. So we've got.
Would that be Viticeps or something else?
So we've got the Easterns. I cannot for the life of me remember their name.
Bard something.
Barbada, I think.
Yeah, Barbada.
So we get them in Sydney all the way up to probably Brisbane. But we do get the centrals if you go around 4 hours west. So then you go from eastern to central habitat. Basically, once you get the red sand, you get the red beardies.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. After seeing all these videos of eastern beardies on like fence posts and logs and stuff like that, I got to be honest, like, I look a lot like the Scoloporus, the fence lizards we have here in the eastern and southwestern United States, kind of that tree gripping agamid look.
That's a good comparison. Yeah, they really do.
Even down to their coloration as well.
Well, like with the Easterns, they pretty much jet black, especially when they see a person. Like they will just go jet black. They've got the really, really jet black beard and the yellow mouth. And they also do get a bit bigger than the Centrals. So they're pretty cool, to be honest. And they've got much more of a triangular head. Like it's like a spearhead almost.
They look more in line with like frill dragons and how their proportions. They're a little bit more lankier, a little bit longer.
Yeah, 100%. But
also, they're cool, man. They're pretty rare in the States.
Even Centrals in the wild, like they look nothing like what we get in captivity, right? All these ones in captivity are fat, and they've got these big chunky legs and big guts and whatever. Like that's just not what they look like if you go find them on the road.
And they're not on hammocks, right? They're not on hammocks in the
wild. No, it's surprising, eh?
That is.
And Kyle, they don't live on synthetic grass either.
That is nuts.
Very surprising. Yeah.
What you mean to tell me the entire Australian alpaca isn't made up of artificial plastic grasses all over as far as the eye can see?
Yeah, no. Look, I promise.
That's what they call the land of Oz, the land of astroturf.
Yeah, I actually hate that. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna blame you guys for that one because
I'm probably right to do so.
I've honestly in Australia we get so many people. I work in a pet shop. Who we sell reptiles. There's not many places that sell reptiles, but we get people coming in saying, "Oh, I watched this video online. Do I have to put it in the bath once a day? Do I have to put fake grass? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Like, no, just put it on sand, put the hair up, don't wash it, just leave it alone.
Yes. So basically, your advice to Aussies: if the video has an American accent, just ignore it.
I don't say that, but I say if they're American, stay clear. No offense, again.
No, we kind of deserve that reputation when it comes to beardies, I guess.
Yeah, you guys are the expert. Well, I'm curious for New South Wales. I know each state is different regarding reptile like keeping. Is there like a permitting system for New South Wales or?
So they've actually recently changed it and they've made it so much more difficult. Now it takes around 6 to 8 weeks for your license to get approved. It used to be you pay for it and you get it straight away, which, look, to be honest, probably isn't great if the point of it is to protect wildlife. But 6 to 8 weeks is just ridiculous. But on that first license, you can keep basic animals. So anything from like a carpet python to a bearded dragon, some small geckos, and then you've got 5 tiers. So it goes from R1 to R5, R5 being the most complicated or complex. So and venomous. So your eastern browns, inland taipans, they're going to be an R5, and then an R3 might be a mildly, or like a red-bellied black snake, for example. Something that's not going to kill you, but still going to not make you feel too good.
Still make you regret having to take that trip to the hospital.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, it's pretty annoying, to be honest, how they've changed the licensing, and especially where I work, we used to get a lot more people just coming in. They'll get their license, they will run them through everything, and they'll take the animal home. But now they have to wait 8 weeks. They may as well just go to some breeder who will give it to them without a license and get it later. So that does make it a little bit more difficult. And at the end of the day, animal welfare goes down because when we sell an animal, for example, we've got a lot of strict criteria that we go through. We'll sell it for about an hour and a half, running through every single little aspect of it. So yeah, I don't know about how the changes have been as far as protecting wildlife. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference at the end of the day. People are going to get tired. People are going to get bored of waiting. So
it seems like the opposite effect will happen. You know, it'll help strengthen the black market or under the table nonsense. And I'm like, well, kind of defeats the purpose.
But yeah, other states, all states have different laws. Like in New South Wales, we can't keep crocodiles. In Victoria, you can. Northern Territory, you can. In Queensland, you can keep emerald tree monitors. New South Wales, you can't. So yeah,
that's kind of backwards, isn't it? Because they're not found in New South Wales.
No, exactly right, and they wouldn't survive in New South Wales either.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to ban species because they're not native, even though they pose no threat of establishing invasive populations in your state. I mean, that'd be like Illinois banning Burmese pythons because there's an invasive population all the way down in South Florida, where Illinois. Now we got to ban them.
Well, it's mainly just we can't have venomous Burmese. Yeah. That's actually new to me, Nate. But you know what? You're not wrong. No. Well, it's funny. I don't really see a lot of Burmese at expos. Now that you mention it, so that's odd. But yeah, mostly for our state here is like we can't keep any venomous forbidden.
Nothing.
No, nothing. I mean, rear fang to a degree depends on the species.
Like hognose.
I mean, for the longest, we were able to get giant hogs and falsies. Well, we still can get falsies. So that's what I mean. It's very species by species.
Right. Well, I was going to say, how are they going through and choosing what's considered fine and what's not?
Very loosely, and I haven't kept up to date with it, but also natives. I think Nate was probably going to allude to with some of the states here. It's state dependent, right? Like Georgia, you can't have corn snakes, right? Like at least and king snake, at least the wild type, like normal genetics. If it's a morph, they're native species, even though they're in captivity. But if you get a morph of the thing, then they're legal. So
that's really weird, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. if I had to take a swing at it, I think it's probably like some sort of defense mechanism against encouraging poaching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tough luck.
yeah, but I mean, there's already such well-established captive breeding populations. I don't think poaching would be that much of a problem for those states.
There's no need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even collecting. I mean, I personally can't speak on it, but I think collecting now probably isn't affecting the populations as much as habitat, fragmentation and whatnot is, or development,
Yeah, I think it's just an excuse for politicians to blame herpetoculturists instead of them selling out native habitat to development or agricultural or recreational or residential.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nilan, maybe you could touch on this, but at least we can kind of help, critters across the street, and it's illegal. What's the deal with New South Wales, or is that all of Australia?
As in what? Like if it's crossing the road or something, or?
Yeah.
Look, that's a good question because for the longest time I thought it was, but recently I had a friend who got fined a massive fine, like $4,500,
Wow.
for posting photos of a snake, which he like lifted up a rock, like flipped a rock. He got fined $4,500 for that. So, and then I've heard like you can't actually touch them, but you can help them if they're in danger of being hit by a car, or you need to call a rescue organization. So I think it's a pretty gray area.
Wow.
I don't post anything of me holding anymore. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I'll post it on my main private Instagram account. I know who's on there, but they're going through people's like social medias, national parks and stuff. So,
well, yeah, I've heard even officials sometimes they'll stop you and take a gander at your DSLR or whatnot and look on the old memory files.
So the good thing about like with where I normally go is you're not technically allowed to walk in the park at nighttime. Well, you're not allowed to drive in the park at nighttime. There's no rule about walking. So national parks will drive past and they'll be like, what are you guys doing? Like, oh, just taking photos. And they'll sometimes ask to see inside our bag. I'm like, yeah, just have a look, whatever. But other than that, they're pretty chill. As long as they know you're just taking photos and not taking anything with you. And to be fair to them, that area had been pretty badly poached not too long ago. So I'm okay with it. It does annoy me that they're going through people's social medias and like looking at our private stuff. We're not harming an animal. No one wants to hurt an animal. So, but I guess if they're protecting wildlife, I guess there's not much you can do about it, really.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow the account Solar Whisper. He's the guy that does those croc tours up on the Daintree River.
Yeah.
Well, the other day he was selling. I saw him posted on the other day a story of how he was road cruising one night and he saw a scrubby on the road, and some younger folks saw it as well and pulled over and was like, oh, freak out. I was like, oh, whoa, this is a cool snake, such a cool snake, and taking pictures of us and that sort of stuff. And at first, he kind of felt a little, like, oh, maybe this isn't the right thing to do, yada, yada, yada. But then he thought, wait, this is way better than them just seeing a snake on the road and then swerving out of the way in order to hit it. This is so much healthier for the animals, so much better for the people and the environment as a whole. But what's the one thing that'll get them punished? What's the one thing that'll get them fined? Killing the wildlife or taking a photo with the wildlife? So that's kind of my main gripe with this is the government wants to punish you for doing the right thing instead of the wrong thing, it seems like at times.
Yeah. I mean, like, people, even over here, like, they really do swerve. And it's like, I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm not going to let someone get hit if it's right in front of me and I'm watching it. I'm not going to just sit there and let it get hit. Like, if I can move it off, I'm going to move it off. And if they're going to prosecute you for that, then they can prosecute you for literally anything. Walk down the road the wrong way, like prosecute you. Park the wrong direction, prosecuted for it. So,
sure. I'm curious, man. I'm curious. What was being poached as of late that you were speaking on?
So in that area, it was mainly diamonds.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen a large adult diamond there in probably 3 or 4 years now. You only see this like juveniles, like the freshly born ones, or like the kind of 4 foot ones. Nothing above that. They're all about that thick. So yeah, I think a lot of the big adult diamonds got pretty smashed by poachers.
And my bad, Nate. And my bad, Nate. And obviously, don't give too much. Obviously, don't give too much away on location. But I seen a post either earlier this year or maybe late last year of kind of the same deal, because there's like these specific, I guess, hot zones where diamonds will, and we can touch on this later. They're an interesting kind of python where they'll have mating balls, and
Yeah.
it's kind of an easy way to scoop a lot of adult individuals up in one sitting.
Yeah. No, I haven't been able to see a mating ball yet, which I think would be bloody like incredible. But no, I haven't seen one yet. But yeah, no, and people post photos of it, and then a million people flock there, and then they all just piss off because either they've been disturbed or they've been poached.
And is that an issue of them posting that when it's in season? This is one of those tangents or conflicts, like when you're excited because you found your herb and you took a photo, and then do you wait on it for a little bit, let the season die down, or do you post it? And it's all depending on species,
I don't think there's any at this point, I don't think there's anything too badly getting smashed by poaching. Again, it's more like habitat that's being destroyed. So with me, whenever I post something, it's more I've just thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I took a photo of that snake a month ago. I should post it now. I personally don't have a real schedule, but I do know people who, what you're saying, will try and protect the wildlife around them because they know that it's in season, and they don't want other people to get there.
It's just one of those topics of contention, and I like you, I don't necessarily have a schedule. Like this year especially, I've been really off social media, which is a good thing in all honesty, but so I kind of post stuff off season anyway, so it's like I just do it intrinsically, so
yeah,
it just all depends.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough topic because like you said, it's just exciting. Like it's so cool to see that snake or that mating ball. That's wild. But yeah, if it's going to negatively impact the animals, then it's probably best to wait a bit.
So what would you say is the primary target of poaching at this park? Would you say it's shinglebacks, or maybe would it be diamond pythons would be their primary target?
Probably a bit of both, to be honest. Like, the most smuggled animal in Australia is the shinglebacks. They get just destroyed by poaching. But I'm sure the diamonds, it's a bit of both. And people just like to keep them in aviaries outdoors as well.
Okay.
So instead of buying one, they'll just go grab one from the bush because they see it right there.
That's probably who's going to stop them?
Exactly right. Like if I wanted to, I could, and no one's going to know, and no one would stop me. So yeah,
that is kind of wild with the sleepy lizards, because where are they? Because you do see these I guess these posts or highlights of it can be in the hundreds, maybe even thousands. I don't want to exaggerate, but yeah, there's a lot that can be seized.
And it's horrible because they end up, pretty much all of them have to be euthanized as well.
Really?
Yeah, because they're just that emaciated. Because what they do before they smuggle them, obviously they don't want to smuggle one at a time. So they'll just stockpile, like you said, hundreds at a time, and then just put them all in individual socks, individual bottles. But during that time that they're in captivity, they are not eating. They're stressed to death pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy. Like most of them go to Asia. Big market in Hong Kong for the sleeper lizards, same as Japan and China. But yeah, it's these like massive shipments. I actually know someone who used to do it, and he was making like thousands of dollars. $25,000 sometimes for a pair of them, $25,000 for one.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that could be so lucrative. I mean, the main analogy we have here in the States are like turtle species.
Yeah.
Especially box turtles.
Yeah, well, just all the species we have here in the eastern United States, turtle-wise, are really popular over in Asia at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, there is a lot of similarities because sleepy lizards and box turtles, they live a long time. They reproduce relatively sporadically or not that often.
Yeah.
There are draws of similarity. Maybe touching on turtles, let's get it into. If you had any other questions, I did want to get into some of the local.
I
Let's go
was,
for it.
I was gonna say, in Australia, what's kind of like how many reptile expos do you have down there that you know of?
So they're very rare. I think we've got 3 in New South Wales.
Okay.
And probably every 4 to 5 months you'll have one. So the biggest one in Sydney is the Blacktown or Stanhope Gardens Reptile Expo. It's just like a big basketball like indoor area, and they used to have a bit more variety, but now it's pretty much just all the Anterasia morphs, carpet morphs, and beardy morphs. That's really it. You get a couple random monitor lizards, but yeah, that's it.
Well,
I was gonna say, sounds a lot like expos here in the States, except you swap out all the ball python morphs with native Australian pythons.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, swap out the ball pythons for Enteresia because I've seen some of the morphs like granite and whatnot, wicked looking things. I'm not necessarily a fan of anthill pythons, but they're cool. I mean, just that size is a sweet spot.
They're a very manageable size. But yeah, it's crazy. Like even 5 years ago, we didn't have half the stuff we've got now. Because now we've got triple gene animals, quadruple gene animals, and it's that's like the ball pythons, right? Like that took a while, but now it really
is.
Yeah. So do Aussie breeders also have ridiculous names for their morphs as well? Like crazy stuff like
what, cinnamon sprinkles highway.
Yeah, super Mojave chocolate chip pistachio ice cream or
Mocha.
Yeah, just random stuff.
Oh, I don't even know what it means. No, look, the Aussie ones are probably a little bit better, but that's also because we've got less of them. I'm sure once we have as many as you do, then it will become some bullshit. But no, they're mainly just like, if it looks spotty, it's a leopard. If it's high yellow, it's caramel, like that kind of stuff.
Similar trend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, this snake looks like a jaguar.
It's a jag, exactly.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm curious, man, since you touched on the expos, do you go to one or several annually, or do you go every now?
You know what? I actually haven't been to an expo in like 3 years.
Oh, okay. Because my follow-up was going to be, what have you seen as like the ebb and flow? Because obviously for here in the States, the economy is not in the best shape, and so we're all feeling the heat of it. And so animals at the end of the day are a luxury item. I don't want to use that term, but it's a luxury thing. It's a privilege. And so from what I've heard, it's been kind of middle ground here, or even dipping down in the negatives with like less attendance and less people buying stuff, that sort of a thing.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
A lot less animals, but breeders are working with more, obviously, morph stuff. So you don't get the basic stuff, which isn't as accessible to the public. So it's a two-sided coin, right? You get either the really like designer animals, or you get the basic stuff, but there's not as many basic ones anymore because they don't make money. Like, you're not making much money off them, so there's no point in breeding them.
It is a catch-22 because obviously maybe you'll have to hold on to animals for longer, but on the other hand, you can kind of weed out and maybe vet more of your clientele, of your client base.
Yep. Well, I mean, you know what? I have found that people are really getting into blue tongues a lot more though. They've always been common and sought after, but I think blue tongues are great just because people like to put them outdoors. They don't need to have a major enclosure set up. They don't have to spend as much on the actual equipment. So I think that's a big positive for just regular people who want a new pet. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly haven't been to enough expos recently to give a strong comment on it. But I do, like, I can say from like where I work, I think we're only one of 4 or 5 pet shops in New South Wales that sell reptiles. So we do have a pretty good gauge on sales and stuff. And during COVID, sales are amazing, like through the roof. But after that, the business has struggled with reptile sales in particular.
Same.
Yeah, that COVID influx was crazy.
Eye for eye. People got into, like, and especially for ball pythons, and many projects on those. And now, many breeders are defunct or out of it. I don't want to get into nitty gritty, but at your pet shop, how long have they been in business for?
So New South Wales pet shops have only been able to sell reptiles since 2012.
Okay.
The business itself has been there for longer, but prior to 2012 was only breeders that could breed and sell. So yeah, we've sold them since 2012.
Yeah, so it seems like you guys are well established, because pet shops are one of those where they can kind of veer on either making a profit or not, just because, again, it's full of things of luxury, and obviously your hard hitters are like substrates or cages, stuff like that. That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, it's online shopping. That's the new craze, right? And so we do have a lot of other stuff in the shop as well. Like, we've got dogs and cats and all that, and they're obviously
fish
the main
and whatnot.
Fish, birds,
Okay.
Guinea pigs, rabbits.
Guinea pigs. That's funny.
Really?
I mean, they're regulating potential invasives, yet they have no problem with rodents.
Rodents,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Australia has a rabbit problem either.
No. Same as rabbits. Never had an issue with rabbits.
It's just monitor fodder, or monitor Tucker. That's funny.
Well, I mean, even like birds and stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, you can keep birds, exotic birds and stuff, exotic fish. So I think it's just that negative bias against reptiles.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy how people who don't understand ecology or the environment and basically just regulate what animals you can and can't have off of vibes. And because mammals and birds are, fluffy and cute and warm-blooded, you can just keep them for the most part with very little to no regulation, even though they have a lot more significant chance of becoming invasive and having detrimental effects on the environment than most ectotherms would be able to.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the problem is, right? Like, when these laws were introduced, no one was keeping reptiles. You had zoos and probably only herpetologists. But birds have always been kept. Fish have always been kept. Rabbits and guinea pigs have probably not always been kept, but definitely been kept for a lot longer. So we had no one really lobbying for reptiles, which I'm fine with, because we've got an amazing selection of reptiles. Like, we don't really need anything exotic.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say, if I had to be limited to one country choice to choose from, I'd choose Australia over anywhere else.
Honestly, like,
You
I could
really value
understand
what you have, yeah.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't understand why people would want to keep corn snakes. I know people who've got corn snakes, king snakes, chameleons, all that kind of stuff. But I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, maybe chameleons, but they only last like 2 or 3 years, and then what do they even do?
True.
And I mean, if you want to talk about a colubrid that poses a threat, if they do become an established invasive, especially to the lizard population, king snakes could really do a number on your native lizard species.
Well, there's definitely a lot of like Cali kings, lots of them. Like, they're very, very popular. So.
I could also see indigos doing a little bit of damage too.
Oh man!
And now you've given me.
That, you know what? They are one American colubrid or like Crebos that I'd keep.
It's funny. They're very similar to the black snakes.
Yeah. I would say that they're a bit closer to mulgas or king browns.
Yeah.
I mean, both large snake eaters.
Well, that size and that just chunkiness and that kind of alpha male aura that they hold, right? So
Aura kings.
Big snake energy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe touching on king browns, those have a pretty big range, but obviously devastated by cane toads. Do they range in New South Wales, or is that too far south?
Yeah, no, they're definitely in New South Wales.
And then are they the dwarf species or just the dominant?
No, the regular ones. We get the regular ones. Okay. Dwarf ones, I think, are only in Queensland. Okay. Oh yeah, the regular mulgas we can find in New South Wales, but you do have to really go quite far north and then west.
Have you personally?
I've been to habitat where you can find them. I've never found one yet.
And do they just prefer living inland versus on the coast at all, or is
you know what? Like, yes and no. It all looks pretty similar, but I think it's just temperature, humidity.
Okay.
They like it dry, so you have to move quite far inland.
Well, I'm not too familiar with, especially like Sydney proper's topography. Obviously, you mentioned the Blue Mountains. So, what elevation are you kind of at? Like mid elevation or?
So where I am currently, I'm pretty close to the coast.
Okay, so not much, but
no, I'm very, very close to the water.
But you're close to because the Blue Mountains. Maybe to give the audience a picture, it's big old mountain range, is it not?
Yeah, it's very big. It's not old though; it's quite new actually. But yeah, where I am in Sydney. I'm about an hour and a half drive to get to the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
nice. That's nice, dude.
yeah, it's cool. But to me, that's far.
Really, an hour and a half?
Yeah, that's far, dude. That's a day trip.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
But yeah, all my herping is 15 minutes from my house. Because where I am, we're surrounded by national park. So in my backyard, I've got lace monitors, whip snakes, diamond pythons, all that kind of stuff. So I really don't have to go very far. So when I do go to the Blue Mountains, you have to kind of plan it out a bit.
When you're going there, I mean, I know tiger snakes, they make an appearance, don't they, around there?
Yep.
Maybe
there's only really a couple species that are only found in the mountains. Like tigers, for example, we do find in Sydney, near my place. But the broad-headed snake, I don't know if you guys have heard about it.
Yes.
I recently found, well, actually 2 days ago, I found their cousin for the first time. So that was pretty cool. The Stevens banded snake. But yeah, the broad-headed snake is like that Sydney. Sorry? Yes, yeah, Nicole. That was insane. But yeah, the broad-headed snakes are found in the mountains. They love like the sandstone ridges. And they're going extinct probably soon if nothing changes, but their rocks get taken. So they love living under really flat sheet rocks. And they just get flipped or smashed or taken for gardening and stuff. And they're pretty quickly disappearing.
Well, this harkens back to like the early 2000s from like Mark O'Shea Big Adventure episode where he was with researchers and like they were replacing the rocks that were taken with artificial rocks. I wonder if that program's still going. And then
it's still going. It has been good, but there was also the big fires which happened 2019, which I'm sure really set it back on the back burner. But yeah, no, that's been going on. But they're also doing a lot more monitoring as well. So you don't even risk herping out there because they've got cameras pretty much along the whole ridge line. So if you walk out there,
you're caught. Good.
You have to wear a mask or something. Like if you're
Jeez, yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Well, my follow up, and this is just speculative. They're one of those species where I think of without human intervention, including deforestation and taking of microhabitats, I wonder if over time they would naturally go extinct. And it seems like potentially they're one of those species that would fall
without
in
human intervention.
Yeah, in both negative and positive light. Like just say, let's just say the bush took over the ridges on the ridgelands and where they live. Obviously, I'm not overly familiar with their ecology. Maybe you so more, but it just seems like they fit in that camp of critters where, if we didn't have our hand in the cookie jar, they probably would eventually just fade away anyway.
You're probably right. I think they are a bit too niche to survive forever. Having said that, Sydney, the entirety of Sydney is sandstone, so there was a lot of habitat which they would have traditionally lived in. Like even my house is built on a sandstone ridge.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So everywhere is Sydney sandstone around here, which I'm sure they would have been out here as well, but they've just been pushed further and further back.
It's just food for thought. Obviously, it's wonderful to hear that they're continuing the conservation efforts, but just food for thought. It's interesting. And you said you've seen their cousin. Have you seen have you seen them? I guess you can't really go looking for them. So yeah, but
well, no, there are
areas. They're crown snakes, aren't they? They're crown snakes.
No, they're not a crown snake. They're called a hoplocephalus. They're in the hoplocephalus genus.
Okay.
So crown snakes they're a different cousin. They're like mildly venomous. These guys are pretty venomous. If you get bitten, you're going to bleed from all orifices. It's pretty nasty. And they often get confused with diamond pythons. So people they'll think it's a baby diamond, pick it up, get bitten, and then just be completely wrecked for the next couple of days. But no, I still haven't found one. But there are areas that you can find them cruising at nighttime. But they're easiest to find just sheltering under rocks, especially during winter. I saw one like quite a few years ago. That was when I was down at Mount Kosciuszko. So that's our biggest mountain. It's still pretty small. I think it's only like 2,000 meters above sea level. I don't know how tall it is. It's pretty short compared to other mountains. But yeah, you can find them down there. I can't actually remember. You know what? Like we've got the highlands and the lowlands. I can't remember which one is in that area, but yeah, I did see one. It was just after the snow had melted, actually. So first kind of rays of good sunlight for them, and they're coming out.
So they're pretty cold tolerant.
Very cold tolerant. They can be found down in Tasmania. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, same as so. There's only 4 snakes that be found in Tasmania: the tiger snakes, copperheads. There's like a miniature copperhead, and then there's a white lip snake. So those are the 4 that you can find in Tasmania, and they're all very, very cold tolerant.
Sweet, man. Good deal. That's awesome.
Yeah, and those are the only ones you can actually keep as well in Tassie. So you can go collect them from the wild and just keep them.
So let me get this straight. The most redneck state in all of Australia has the Australian copperhead and the Australian equivalent of a water moccasin, which is a tiger snake.
It's the Alabama.
Yeah.
You get a bit of familial relations going on. No, like I don't know.
It's the island effect. What do you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. No, they've got a bit of a reputation.
Not just like Great Britain.
They do have a reputation of incest. Oh, 100%. Like, if you're from Tasmania, you instantly just think of kind of like a rough, drives a ute, got a rifle in the backseat, that's what pops in your head. It's such a beautiful place, but if you like isolation, you go there. So.
That's funny. It's been funny. That's the Bogan's homeland. When I think of like Adelaide or Sydney, I think that's the homeland for Toolies.
Where did you get Toolies from?
Oh, I've known about Toolies for a while.
That's so funny.
I keep that in my back pocket.
Could you please inform me on what a Toolie is?
So basically, there's schoolies when you go to university, and then like fresh out of university, you're called a Toolie.
Okay, so drop out.
No, just if you're in that gap year, you can explain it better.
School. It's when you finish school. So, like high school, you finish your year 12 exams, and then you either go like Brisbane, Gold Coast, Fiji, or Bali, with your friends for like a week, and then you get these 25-year-old dudes going there, who are often tradies, hanging out, wanting to party with the 18-year-olds.
Those are the toolies right there.
Those are the toolies. Knows it.
Here in the States, we just call those guys kind of creepy. So.
Toolies is more fun.
No, I guess so.
Yeah, especially out in Bali. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that leads me to, like, I guess, destination aspirations. Obviously, Australia is comparable to the US, so huge. And you've touched on, you've been to the Red Center, you've been to Queensland, like far north Queensland. I guess, just because this is mainly Nathan's and I curiosity, like Northern Territory and Western Australia. Do you have any experience with those states?
So yeah, I've been to Alice Springs.
Okay.
For some reason I didn't go to Uluru. I don't know why. But yeah, I was in Alice Springs and we were finding that. So that's where you can find like the Centralian carpets. But yeah, that was quite a long time ago, and I wasn't with a herp. It wasn't with a herp intention. Ended up finding a couple of the. Have you heard of the Amier? Like the geckos?
Yeah, they're not nephurous, are they?
Yeah, they're nephurous. Yeah.
Okay.
They're the really like stubby, chunky ones. Down there.
I'm guessing that's a species of knobtail gecko.
Yeah, we call them the Centralian knobtail.
Okay.
So or rough-scaled knobtail, something like that. Yeah.
That's a good one. Not to derail. So you've seen the knobtail.
Yeah.
Spring.
But no, I really want to go back Northern Territory and Western Australia. So I'd love to do the Kimberley.
Yes, the Kimberleys, man. Oh, dude, yes.
The Kimberley and the Pilbara, like those are the two areas that are really just awesome.
Yeah, and I gotta say the Kimberley rock monitor just might be the best looking monitor on the planet.
Close to it, I reckon. If not the best, very close to it. I'm not really a monitor guy, but fire out. Those things are insane.
Yeah, might be the best looking lizard in Australia.
Close to it, because I mean the Kimberley rocks are just, especially when you're in Kimberley proper. Oh, so unreal.
Yeah.
But you know, I think I can speak for all of us. We're all Odatria fans, even though I do like the big stuff too. Like I would love to see a perenni, or even like when you mentioned Lacey's in your backyard, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the first day we moved into our house, there was a 5-foot Lacey just sitting in the backyard.
Nice.
And my dog was barking, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I go down, this thing's just like arcing up to her, whipping her like with its tail, puffing out its chest. It was insane. Like, it was such a cool lizard.
I was about to say, poor little ankle biter of a dog.
Oh, she was a big dog, so she was.
Okay, so she's still alive then.
She's safe, relatively speaking.
Oh no! She would have. I think they would have both stuffed each other up pretty good if they got into a fight.
My money's on the lizard.
Yeah, I mean, very. Yeah.
At least he didn't have like a little chihuahua charging at that lizard. That would have ended terribly.
No.
Yeah, that'd been ugly.
Oof.
No, she was half mastiff, so like a big.
Oh, so she was safe then.
Big.
She's solid, yeah.
Yeah, very solid.
Still, I mean, Varanid teeth and claws, and especially Lacey, since they're arboreal. I mean, gosh.
Bro,
they have some serious equipment.
And my entire arm, like, not to be obviously dark, but it looked like I was self-harming. Like, that's just how bad you get scratched up by these things. It's insane.
Oh, I have first-hand experience with that.
Oh yeah, you can do that one.
With goannas, did you say you guys can keep Lacey's in New South Wales or no?
So you can keep Lacey's, but they're on an R2 license. So
slightly higher up.
Stuff. Okay. But R2's you have to keep. So the way it works is you have to keep an R1 monitor for a year before you can get an R2 monitor.
And what's an example of an R1 monitor?
Aki.
Okay.
Yeah. An Aki, a King's, any of those pretty much the dwarf monitors.
Well, you know, that's a kind of odd system. I thought it was going more along the lines of you get your hours in and then you level up. Because what if you don't want, you know, an R1, you know, goanna?
Sucked in.
I mean, I think they're all cool, but what if you don't want that? And you kind of
don't really get a choice. Same with the pythons. Like if you want to get an R2 python, like a green tree python, you have to keep a children's python for a year before you can upgrade it.
What's a carpet? Is that a R1 or R2?
R1.
Okay, yeah, I'd go the carpet route personally, but still, it's still you're pigeonholed to specific species when you don't want to work with them.
Well, that's the problem. I think what ends up happening is people who don't want, like if they want to get an R2 animal, they'll keep one for like an R1 animal for a year and then just sell it straight away. The moment they get that year up, sell it. I mean, that's fine, I guess, but I think it's unfortunate if that's the only reason you're getting the animal, just because you want to get something better.
Yeah, the animal's getting the brunt end of the stick, but I mean, regardless, it's whatever. So so you did talk about aspirations for the Kimbleys and going back to the Red Center, but any interest in, or maybe you could take it away. What are other states or maybe semi-specific areas in particular that are kind of
so in
upper list?
Victoria? They've never found a mulga snake. They found mulgas 100 meters from the border. They found dead ones 20 meters from the border, but they've never found one in Victoria. So I'd love to find one in Victoria.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome to find one in Victoria. But yeah, honestly, I think it's those ones I mentioned before. It's just the peak at the moment. I'd love to hit Cape York as well. Cape York, hit the Torres Strait.
Oh man, you get those Iron Range green tree pythons.
Yep.
Then the
and you get the big Aussie scrubbies up there as well. So, but no, like I just love those gigantic ones you see. Like some of the smaller Indonesian ones, they don't obviously get as big, but I think the Aussie ones are the biggest subspecies, right?
Yeah, I believe that's King Horneye.
King Horneye.
Yeah.
Monsters, man. Monsters.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a scrub python that gets nearly retic size.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
That's a big old snake.
That's a good analogy. Yeah, Nilan. So I want to touch on the scrubs and herpetoculture over there, but just off track. Like I think scrubs are going to be one of those categories of pythons that blow up just because of the breeders that we have in the States and just the stock that we have. I think in 5 to 10 years. Yeah, man. They're my favorite groups of pythons for sure. I think we're going to see a blow up here in the States within 5 to 10 years. I'm curious because obviously the Australian, I guess you guys technically have 2 subspecies or whatever, but what's it like over there can you own scrubs in your neck of the wood? And
you can own scrubs. Hardly anyone does though. Like it's a very, very small.
I mean, they're big snakes and they're dangerous.
No, so they're in the R2.
Really?
Same as green trees, but
oh,
I mean, since when is a green tree as dangerous as a scrub python?
That's what I was thinking. They're a serious snake.
Yeah, that's one non-venomous I would not want to get bit by.
Yeah,
with potentially I think longer teeth, right? I mean, they got wicked teeth on them.
I think it's just because they're non-venomous, right? Like I think there's nothing above an R2. I think that's a python. Besides Owen Pellies, but you can't even keep Owen Pellies in New South Wales. So
that's hilarious. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really don't see the scrub scene blowing up over here, to be honest. Carpet pythons are all the craze still.
Rightfully so.
Because you're getting all these moon glow shit and sun glows and I don't even know what they're called. But these like ivory white snakes, people just love them. Like it's
wait, that don't appear dead in the egg, like they're actually pure white carpets.
Yeah. Pure white carpets. Pure white carpets. The only, I think it's jag to jag, right? That you get the pure ones, the white ones, or
I mean, we get albinos, but no, nothing pure white as of late.
Yeah, no, I'll try and find an account, but we 100%.
Well, that'd be a cool carpet to find the southwestern ones, the imbricata. I mean, the only one we don't have here.
Really?
We don't have imbricata.
None at all?
As far as I can tell, and just, I've heard hundreds of podcasts at this point. And, Nate and I grew up on a Morelia Python radio. And they're always talking about, that's the one carpet they wish they could have,
Yeah, right.
We just don't have them.
What's the allure? What's the allure for the imbricata for you guys?
Well, just from what Nate showed, like the complete carpet, the second edition, just that individual there is gorgeous. You know, the reds, the orange.
What do you
Yeah.
guys think of the Murray Darling carpets?
The inlands are, I don't know, not my favorite subspecies, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. But they're not
To be
they're not
honest.
a true carpet, are they? Like a not a
Oh
true.
yeah,
Yeah, because they're not spotter anymore. Even Imbricata is not spotter anymore. So
you're not wrong. I don't remember the subspecific or specific.
yeah, I agree.
Because isn't the moniker over there, and colloquially crappet snakes? Obviously, I don't like that term, but that's what I hear Aussies sometimes use them, just crappet snakes. I'm like, well, carpets are cool.
I love carpets.
Yeah.
And people love to, like, people leave them in their house. If they're sitting on the roof, no one's going to move it. That thing is eating rats and annoying possums that are running all over at nighttime. They're very, very useful to have around the house.
They're like our analogy would be like a supersized Pantherophis, like a supersized rat snake species.
Yeah.
They have the same kind of ecological niche. They're around urban centers. I mean, it's very similar when you really get into nitty gritty. But man, I've seen some, and maybe have you seen like some really beefy carpets or like beefy diamonds?
The coastal carpets, far out. These things get massive. Like
Yeah.
some of the ones up in Brisbane and the Gold Coast, like you get 3.5 meter long carpet pythons. That's a big snake. That's like 10, 11 foot long, right? That's getting close to 12. And they're fat, like fat as anything. Even the scrubs, like a lot of the scrubs, you're not even going to find that fat. These carpets are just huge. Like they've got these beefy proportions.
Slightly going back to the carpets, it seems like we missed out on that coastal blood here in the States, because unless they're lethally obese, we're not getting 3 meter carpets, for the most part.
I mean, look, a lot of people aren't probably getting. I don't see heaps of coastals in captivity, to be honest. They're not the popular morph to keep.
They kind of have that plain Jane look to them.
Exactly. And they're also so widespread. Our inlands are getting invaded by coastals. Our diamonds are getting invaded by coastals. Like people don't care for them as much, but it's the Darwins that are very popular. Darwins are popular. Murray Darlings are not as popular, but also quite popular. Diamonds, very popular. And then the mixed stuff. So you get obviously the morphs if you just get a whole bunch of different carpets and you mix them together. But yeah, coastals aren't as appreciated, I think, in the hobby.
Yeah, man. People just like the pretty color snakes, like the black and yellow jungles are going to dominate the trade, where it's kind of a gray snake's going to slip under the radar.
You know what? I do agree. And I think they're also the shittiest of the carpets as far as personality wise. Like,
okay,
they're just assholes.
Did not know that.
You want a nice snake, get a diamond. Like,
yeah,
they fight with the two.
I would say, my personal experience, my diamond was an absolute sweetheart when I kept her.
Exactly. No one says that. Also, like with the jungles, I forgot to mention jungles. They're very popular, but I really don't think that reputation is earned. I think it's when they're just not socialized as babies, they stay like that. I've seen so many big adult jungles, which are just puppy dogs. So I don't know. I think they've got a bit of a bad rep, unfortunately, because they're such a nice snake.
I mean, I think they just fall into that baby python syndrome. I mean, if you have a baby python and it's not, being nippy, it might be something wrong with it. And then obviously, like, you socialize it as it develops and matures, for sure.
Like they're starting off at that long, that slim. Anything can eat them, right? So why wouldn't they be pissed off? How can you judge it from its baby form when everything wants to eat it, as opposed to an adult, which is, you know what I mean?
I mean, like Clint from Clint Reptiles, the world is a scary place when you're, a noodle with a head.
Exactly.
That's such a favorable saying, because it's true. When you get into the perspective of the snake.
And it's not like they've got weapons or anything; they can't defend themselves. So
Yeah, yeah.
They
Well, and
have
look,
to.
in the beginning of the show, we talked about birds, and you guys got some serious birds. I mean, parrots, kookaburras, and like birds of prey, ospreys, or more
Yeah,
inland like wedge-tails, everything.
magpies, currawongs.
Yeah,
They'll
kites.
all
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's out to
they'll
get.
all make a baby snake any day.
Mhm. I guess one more herp. I'm curious if it's a backyard herp to you, like the Aussie water dragons. Do you guys have those?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
We had one living in my front yard for about 4 years, and my dad loved it. Like he would buy boxes of crickets and just feed it every day, and it'll just run down the driveway, eat them. He'd throw it like a raspberry or a blueberry. It would just nibble on them and then eat them. But recently, a neighbor moved a cat, and it's just disappeared since then. So
I wonder.
bro, you do not understand how bad they are about that. Like it's just crazy.
And I might my bad cut out. And that's saying something because the cats are bad in the States, but I feel I empathize with Aussies and Aussie wildlife in the situation with the cats and the foxes. I mean, just the whole
Dude,
rigmarole.
like, I've been 12 hours west where there's not a single human being for 100 kilometers on either side of me, and I've seen cats just running around catching shit. Like it's just nuts. Because at least in the States, you guys have got people everywhere. We don't have that. So these cats are literally just bred here, and they're just moving further and further inland. They're just a nightmare. Honestly, they're a nightmare.
And they're getting fat because I've seen like hunting compilation videos, and like these feral cats get pretty stocky out feeding on lizards and birds and whatnot. And
Yeah, people call them Black Panthers. Like,
yeah, I can see it. That's
like
little assassins.
Big. Obviously, they're not like truly Black Panthers, but in the Blue Mountains in particular, you get these big ones. And at nighttime, people post a photo and be like, "Oh, look, confirmed sighting of a black leopard in the Blue Mountains." Obviously, but
I mean, if you want to be speculative, say in a couple hundred years, I mean, I hope Australia can manage the cat problem more and more. But let's just be real, just like the cane toads, say they're still here hundreds of years. Who knows? Maybe some of those stocky feral cats get bigger and bigger in body size. That'd be a scary thought.
The one benefit about the cane toads is we've seen that animals will bounce back. In northern Queensland, animals are coming back now. They've learned how to survive with the cane toads. They do them major damage when they keep moving. So they move around 20 kilometers every year further west, which is a lot for a small little toad that can hardly move.
I don't know, man. I've seen cane toads that are native range, and they are not a small toad by any stretch.
Yeah, sorry.
And they're
very
pretty
large.
terrestrial. They're pretty terrestrial too. I mean, they're robust. So I can see how swarms of them just persist.
Yeah.
But so where I go to uni, they've started a program where they're introducing these tadpoles, cane toad tadpoles, which don't metamorphosize into toads. They just stay as gigantic tadpoles, and they have been shown to eat cane toad eggs. So it's working on a small scale. I guess it's just about getting into these big scales, because all they need is a 15 centimeter deep puddle of water, and they can lay eggs. So
yeah, man, if you guys only had like a native predator to eat them, I mean, why don't you just introduce a new predator? That worked out so well the first time with them. But you only have the one species, keelback or whatever, that can eat them, whereas everything else is not immune to them at all.
Yeah, it is.
This gives us more of a reason to introduce Krebos or try and market something like that.
Bring them over. But yeah, I really hope that animals can start to adapt to the cats. I guess the problem with cats is they're pretty successful, whereas toads aren't the ones actually predating as much on the wild animals. It's more the other way around. So if you eat a small toad and you feel really shit after, you're not going to eat it again. But a cat, you don't really have a choice. You either get eaten or you don't. It's on the flip side of that.
it's like
Yeah.
dingoes and parentes. You know, I've seen a couple of videos of parentes chowing down.
Well, the thing is, they like even dingoes. Like a dingo eating a toad, I don't know how well it would do, to be honest.
Well, I'm sure dingoes would chow down on cats.
Oh yeah. Dingoes, 100%. But people shoot dingoes. They're getting exterminated en masse as well. So the only things that are eating cats and foxes are dingoes. And the only things that are able to are getting shot. So nothing's really stopping them, which is unfortunate.
It is. I mean, Australia is just an island of contention, of a lot of controversy. You know, it's so fascinating. You have on one side predator or predation effectiveness from cats, and then on the other side you have invasion effectiveness from the cane toads. It's like, man, just colliding all together. It's a smosh posh.
All at once.
Yeah. But it is good that some wildlife is rebounding. I've heard some of the studies with like some of the panoptes, like the floodplain goannas. You know, they're somewhat rebounding. So
yeah, 100%. I've even seen a lot more like people posting about them and seeing them. So I think that's a good sign, because the more you're seeing them, obviously, the more prevalent they probably are in the environment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So slightly changing up the subject a little bit, there is one question that I did want to make sure we ask you before the night drew to a close. I just got this from perusing through your Instagram profile, but you've done a little bit of herping outside of Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you go herping at?
Yeah. So I've done a little bit of herping outside of Australia. I've done a bit in Asia. So far I've hit Malaysian Borneo, Thailand, bit of Singapore, but unfortunately nothing has been super. Oh, sorry, Sri Lanka and India as well. Completely forgot about them. I haven't done enough dedicated herping. I normally set it aside like 1 or 2 days because I'm with friends who really aren't that keen on it, unfortunately. But yeah, normally I do 1 or 2 days just out and about, having a look around. Yeah, so that was a mangrove pit viper, which I found in Thailand, and that was with this. It was pretty funny. I went with this really, I reckon he was like 4'8" Thai man, and he had his little canoe, and he was like, "All right, let's just go." Yeah, that's him. And we're just going through the mangroves for like 4 hours looking for these things through the whole day. It was unreal. Honestly, it was unreal. But yeah, I'm going to Bali in January, so hoping to do a bit more. Spend at least 3 or 4 days just targeting kings and
sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen? You said you've been to Bali before?
No, I've been to Bali before.
Okay. Well, yeah, man, kings for sure, top of the list, and then retics. I mean, you got quite a bit.
100%. So really, like, just gonna hit them hard, hoping it's something good.
It kind of sounds like Bali is the Australian version of America's Cancun resorts.
No, Bali's just full of arsehole Aussies, basically. If you go to the right areas, you won't see a single local.
So does Cancun.
So yeah, that's not. I'm strongly avoiding that area, because there are still some nice areas in Bali which aren't just party scene and getting drunk every night. I mean, that's fine if that's your vibe. That's up to you, but that's not mine.
Yeah, it's not my vibe either.
No, not at all. I would much rather be in a national park, in the forest, doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd rather be out alone in the woods at night with a headlamp, looking for potentially dangerous animals.
Exactly right. You'll see me with a headlight on.
Instead of flipping and smashing these cans, how come flip some rocks with me? I mean, maybe not too conducive in Southeast Asia, but still, you get on throwing down. You know?
That's a T-shirt right there. I should make a T-shirt.
I guess. What were some other highlights? Obviously, when you go out to these trips, it's mainly with friends. But besides like that mangrove viper, what else have you seen? Like salties in that part? Have you seen?
Yeah. I've I've seen salties in 4 countries now, I think.
Nice.
So I've seen them in Sri Lanka.
Oh, you saw them in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I'll actually tell you about it. Right. So we were staying in
Please.
this place down by the beach, southern Sri Lanka, and we had been surfing in this place. It was a super surfy area, full of tourists, full of Russian tourists. Very random. Anyway, we're staying in our villa, and it's 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and I'm trying to do my university selections. And we're on the side of a river, and I look up, and there's this like 5-meter croc that just swims right past where we're staying. I'm like, shit, we were swimming in the beach 150 meters away from there just yesterday. Yeah, that was a really funny surprise in the morning because I just didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
And it was just like a normal river, like just upstream, you see people washing their clothes and stuff. So they're coinciding, I guess, pretty well. Another really great highlight from Sri Lanka was I was with 2 mates and we were staying near a national park. So we were targeting leopards the next day, but that night that we arrived, we were like, you know what? It's a nice bushy area. Let's just go for a little bit of a wander. And we walked down, and as we were walking past, this Jeep drives past us, and it's a safari guide. And he's like, oh, what are you guys doing? And my German friend was like, oh yeah, we're just looking for reptiles. And the guy's just like completely confused. Anyway, we don't think anything of it. And genuinely like a minute later, genuinely like a minute later, we see this.
Yeah.
The next day, so we arrived, let's say we arrived on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we were going to go look for leopards. But on Tuesday, we just got some dinner and we were like in pretty good habitat. Like it was nice, somewhat bushy, still in a rural kind of setting, a lot of farmers around still, but it was a good area. And we're just walking along down this dirt road and this Jeep drives past. He's a safari guide and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And we're just like, oh, we're looking for reptiles. And he just looks completely confused, but doesn't really think anything of it. Anyway, about a minute later, like genuinely a minute later, we look down and there's this big rat snake in front of us. So my mate Jan, he goes up and he grabs it and he's like, holy shit, look what I found. And the safari guy gets out and he just starts yelling at us. He's like, put it down, put it down, put it down. Like I've never seen anyone like that angry. He was losing his shit. And my friend Jan, he's quite a stubborn guy. He was like, no. He was just saying no. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Put the snake down, please. And within 2 minutes of this like yelling, it just doesn't stop for 2 minutes straight. And there's like 25 villagers who've just appeared out of nowhere, and they're just all standing in a circle around us, just staring at us like with an angry face. We're like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, the safari guy.
I've been like, dude, just drop the snake and go.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, Jan, put it down, please. And he's just saying no.
Why?
What are you doing, bro? Put it down. And he eventually puts the snake down. And for 10 minutes, the guide just keeps on yelling at us, saying he's going to call the cops on us, saying how we're going to get like a 100,000 rupee like fine, which wouldn't be that much.
Like $5.
Probably. And he
so you have to act trembled.
Yeah, sorry, so please. And then we're saying sorry, but by the end of it, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, you're just yelling at us. We put the snake down. We're not hurting the snake. Fuck off and leave us alone.
Right.
And then he starts forcing us to watch his YouTube videos on snakes. I don't want to watch this.
He was just trying to get you to subscribe to his channel.
Please like and subscribe. Please, sir. Like,
hey, you gotta manipulate the algorithm any way you can, right?
He's like, these are my living props. You can't use them. You know?
No. And then he went and told our Airbnb host on us as well. He like followed us home. We were walking home, drove in the car behind us, followed us home, and then went and snitched on us. And she just was like laughing. So like, what was the point of that?
What a narc.
For sure. Just
man, get a life, dude.
Look, apparently. Like in his defense, I will give him credit because a lot of people do kill snakes over there. So
okay, yeah.
But he could also tell that we weren't trying to kill a snake, and we weren't locals. So I think he was just in a shitty mood. But yeah, that was a funny experience.
Yeah. To be fair, we aren't in a place to judge. We also had our encounter with law enforcement while herping in Colombia.
Yes,
Outside.
but to be fair, it happened in the early AM, and it was understandable as our vehicle we left it on, and it was relatively noisy, and it was nearby, plots of land with owners, suspicious owners. So
Yeah,
I can't fault them for that.
that's
So
fair.
Yeah.
not terrible experience.
I can't blame the cops for seeing the four of us and immediately getting suspicious that we were up to no good. So
Yeah, so relatively chill. I mean, intense in the beginning, and it was pretty chill. So not terrible.
That's hilarious.
You need a couple of those in your trips,
Moments and
just
those
like you were saying.
experiences that'll last forever. It's a cool, like, obviously in the
100%.
moment it's a bit stressful, but afterwards you can just laugh about it because it's
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's like the opposite of causing a scene with the locals. That I'm like, yeah, but yeah, obviously,
yeah, as soon as you see those siren lights, it's like, okay, be calm, play by their rules.
yeah, right.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give them an excuse to be pissed off with you.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we're the visitors in their country, and they're the ones with the guns.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, and another funny experience I had was when I was in Thailand. I was with my girlfriend, and that's when I found that mangrove pit viper, and I was trying to get her to come with me because I didn't want to go just randomly, but she was refusing. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine, that's fine. Anyway, we're in the mangroves, and I get a call from her, and she's like, "Can you come back right now?" I'm like, "I don't think so. Like, I'm 2.5 hours away." And she's like, "Please," and being followed. So I had to tell the guy who didn't speak any English, by the way. So I had to use Google Translate for all our conversations from English to Thai. I was like, "We have to go right now," and we're speeding back. And luckily, she had ducked into some little restaurant and was hiding in there. But this guy was literally following her up and down the main strip and waiting for her to come out. So when we walked out, I had to like really hold her to her tightly and just like walk past him. But yeah, you get some funny moments when you and that was the only time I left her alone as well. Every other time, never anything went wrong, and then it was just that one little window of time where she was on her own.
Yeah. I mean, those are the what do you call the highs and lows of international trips, right? Anything can happen.
It's a good point. I actually was curious, like, how do you guys go herping? What does that look like for you?
Well, as the old saying goes, if a gun wasn't pulled on you, you weren't really herping.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, that was a joke.
I think Nate and I have cooled off from our like hot-blooded days. Like, I remember one time I would look at, some signage like no trespassing or yada yada, and I'd look at it with, interesting, and then just go about my business. But nowadays,
it's a recommendation, not a rule.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. But nowadays, we have like, lots set aside like preserves or reserves, that sort of thing.
Yeah, plenty of wild places to go.
But as in, like, you're flipping or you're road cruising?
It kind of depends on the time, the situation, location, what you're looking for. Like, depends if you also have access to a private property for a board line or not. So, but yeah, certain nights you just go out cruising. Other times, if you have access to a nice patch of property, you set up a board line and hey, you go out there occasionally and just flip some boards and see what you can find.
Yeah, but mainly our artificial cover or natural cover, that's kind of the mainstay. Artificial cover, I would say, that's kind of the mainstay. And it also obviously is habitat dependent. Because we have a pretty decent mix here in Illinois, and so does Ohio. Further south, you have these kind of similar to like sandstone ridges or escarpments where there's a thin soil level and rocky outcroppings, and like that's like flip heaven. You get different kinds of lampropeltis like milk snakes, all this. So it's really is just habitat dependent.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's our invitation. Come to the Midwest, man. We'll show you Southern Illinois.
I'd love to, because what we do mainly is like we only do flipping in winter. Flipping in summer is just not existent. Like, you're not going to find anything. It's too hot. So winter's like when we do all our flipping. But during summer, it's mainly walking at nighttime, to be honest. It's very hard to target stuff during the day, especially diurnal animals. Like, it's very hard to find them. You have to kind of just incidentally bump into them.
Well, that's funny. That's the other dichotomy, Go for it, Nick.
Yeah, I was going to say, with diurnal snakes, it's just hard to see them because they're out on the move.
Yeah.
And you don't know where they're going to be. You don't have a predictable spot.
right? It's just so hard to target because
Mhm.
they could be anywhere, really.
Yeah, and you're talking about an animal that's well adapted to spending its entire life moving around middle of the day and not being seen by anything.
I mean, they're just naturally secretive for sure. I would say for us, our sweet spot would be about spring to early summer. That's like the peak when it comes to flipping and even daytime hiking because the foliage and vegetation isn't too flushed out yet, hasn't greened out yet, but and the temperatures are like pretty tolerable.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and also that early in the season, you don't have to worry as much about all the biting insects and ticks and stuff like that.
Breeding.
Yeah. And oh yeah, breeding. Also talk about breeding. Have all the breeding balls and everything's moving around that time of year. You know, trying to make babies and get full bellies before the cold, hard times come again in 6 months or so.
That's sick. So, what do you do for work?
I currently work part time at my family's printing business
Yeah, cool.
while I'm back in college.
And
Yeah.
you, Brian?
Yeah, it's a business founded by my grandfather.
Wow, that's cool. So third generation.
Yep.
Far out.
Yep.
Yeah, but you're striving to be, zoologist or something along those lines.
Trying to.
So good on you. That's sweet, man. Yeah, we didn't even touch on amphibians. Obviously, amphibians are cool too. They're usually not our focal point, but yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back on, my man. To just touch on amphibians, and even, I mean, there's so much that we can go with you. So,
Dude,
it's
let's
been a blast.
run it again sometime because honestly, like, it's great to chat with you guys and hear that kind of different perspectives.
Oh, it's great chatting with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Even though we're so
Really-
different in far as location, it's very similar in our mindsets about this kind of stuff. So
The only tough thing is that you're fueling my passion to go out again, but I'm like, nothing's out besides maybe.
brother, just come book a flight and come here.
Man, I wish we could.
For the
You
next,
see,
the next
the way
week
my
and a
bank
half, I've
account's
got
set up.
34-degree weather, so you can come the whole time and you can stay in nice warm weather.
Funnily enough, for the next week, we also have 34-degree weather.
That's funny. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, Fahrenheit can be a cruel, cruel mistress when compared to Celsius.
Let's hit him with the infamous question.
All right.
God, I'm scared now.
Yeah. Are you ready for it?
Well, I say infamous. We just say it to every guest. I guess
Have you gotten the koala chlamydia?
zoonotic.
The drop bear disease.
Oh
Look-
god.
Look, thankfully, I haven't dabbled in chlamydia yet. Thankfully.
Yeah. All right. So, what's the one place in the world that if you were able to go for your dream herping trip, what's the one place in the world you would take that trip to?
Yeah, the problem with that is it's like there's so many places, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a hard choice to make. That's why we asked the question.
Honestly, Costa Rica sounds pretty
Wow.
Yeah.
peak.
I can tell you from first-hand experience, Costa Rica was an awesome place to go herping in.
Well, maybe you guys have to come down with me.
Maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
If we plan it properly.
Okay, that was a no. Maybe is such a no. Let's be real. That was a no, Nate. I heard it.
Oh, come on. Not this year, but sometime in the future.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive for me to get there, so it would be a little bit down the line, I reckon.
Yeah, and I got a few other trips already planned for this year.
I mean,
Okay,
I'll do the
so-
Uno reverse to you and invite you to come with us on the Colombia jaunt one of these times.
Yeah.
I want to go so bad, honestly. Like,
Untapped, man. Untapped.
maybe I just gotta just hop around the globe a bit and then eventually end up with you guys.
Yeah.
Because Asia's very accessible for me. Like, even for Bali, for example, we got our tickets for like $500 return. So it's pretty cheap for us to get to Bali and stuff. But the moment you go past Bali, it's expensive.
It's a little pricey. Yeah. Well, we could maybe find some middle ground, say Taiwan or China.
You know what? I've been to China and I would love to go to China again. So
Yeah, I imagine Bryant would love to go over there just to see a certain king rat snake species out there.
That'd be nice. That would be nice.
that would be sick.
Yeah. Personal draw, I guess you have to that place.
Yeah, so I have personal affiliations for going. I'd like to see that species in the wild. And I mean, it's so diverse. I mean, China has very similar herpetofauna to us,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
it's a well-known fact that Eastern Asia, China has very similar herpetofauna to the Eastern United States, and not just herpetofauna, but like plants too.
Yeah,
Actually, that's a really good point because you get the big vipers, you get the big salamanders,
yeah.
alligators.
Yeah,
Far out.
Big colubrids. Yeah.
yeah, and like you said, the big pit vipers. Yeah,
Yeah,
and like for example,
that's wacky.
like the Mangshan vipers is basically just a Asian timber rattlesnake, and I mean, hell, mamushis used to be classified in Akiserdon.
Yeah, and they get big as well,
Yeah.
right? Some of them they get like quite long and
Well, yeah, some like the habus, like on in Japan and whatnot. Yeah, they're very similar to like South American bull crops. So it's
yeah.
really interesting the convergence or similarities between.
I mean, there's even a genus of called Protobothrops in Asia.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that is what habu is.
Yeah, which is just crazy. I mean, that they have that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It is far out when you think about it. So yeah, that Asia in general like that is calling the name. And obviously, Southeast Asia or like Indonesia that's calling Nate and I's name, but
Yeah.
You know
it's
what?
very
If you guys
multiple Nate.
can, if you plan it, like if you can make a trip plan, I'll come join you.
Oh well, we just might have something in store for sometime later this year if you're interested.
Holy shit!
Yeah, going out to Malaysia, hopefully see some wild Temistoma among some other stuff on Malaysian Borneo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully, I mean, hey, if we could swing it, it'd be a blast to have you on, have you come out, go herping with us out there.
So do you guys do like a Colombia trip every year or what?
This was
Yeah,
Okay.
we're kind of just figuring out it. This like last year was our first year, and hopefully again this year.
well, yeah. My mother's Panamanian, so we used to go there quite a bit. It's been about 4 years now, but the last time I went, and just kind of similar to you, the gist of it was mainly to see family again. But on the off days, I did have free. I mean, it was pretty bountiful. I mean, I got a croc in hand, an
Yeah,
American croc. That was awesome.
That's
Probably
awesome.
one of the biggest highlights
yeah.
ever.
Some might say that's the superior salty.
The ultimate competitor. That's
Wow,
the
big call here, big call.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just like poking and prodding at salty fanboys a little bit here and there.
They're awesome in their own aspects. No point, no need to put them against each other.
Yeah,
All we know is that what would be.
I mean, they're both tropical salt water loving crocs. Yeah.
Because I've seen like American cross Niles and shit, right? Like they really will.
Man, Americans will hybridize with anything. Morlays, Niles, Cubans,
Yeah,
who knows what else.
That's crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm. But solid answer, man.
Yeah, I reckon Costa Rica is pretty up there, and even parts of Asia. Like, I would love to just stay in Malaysia. Particularly Malaysia. I really love Malaysia.
Yeah.
I love Malaysian people. I love Malaysian food. Do Malaysia for like a month straight. Just stay there, herping every day. I would love to get a big Indian king cobra.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Is that the Hana or is that the what other
Indian.
the Indian one? So that's one from
Yeah.
from like South India,
Western Ghats.
Western
Yeah,
Ghats.
Western Ghats.
Yeah,
Is that Bungaris or Hannah?
I think
Maybe Hana.
Bungaris is Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Hannah's still the Indian Western Ghats.
Okay. I mean, it's the king you think of, that big, dark, grand
Yeah.
specimen.
My auntie's got a coffee estate in India, and they had I think this was 16-foot long king, which the forest department came and took away from the house. But I've literally spent so many hours walking through the rows of coffee and all the plants and stuff just to even have a glimpse of one. I've never had luck. So
Well, I mean, they're probably smart enough. Probably smart enough to know they need a vantage point. I mean, these are like these are a different level of
Oh,
snakes.
they're intelligent.
Yeah.
Literally.
Thankfully, my margin of error is higher because king rats are notoriously, but they're known to be nippy as well. But you have less equipment to deal with their
Yeah.
bites, and mine for the most part really hasn't been that nippy. She's growing out of it. They're cool. They're cool snakes. They're basically the
Creepy,
China or Asian equivalent of an indigo, of a cribo. Very similar niche. Big old colubrid.
Because they get around what 12, 13 foot, can they?
No, not that big.
Okay.
Yeah, 9, maybe rarely 3 meters. Rarely, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that's more Pataeus, like the greater keeled, like those rat snakes. Those could get pretty big.
Okay.
But solid, man. Well, maybe we might have to do an India or Sri Lanka trip as well if
100%.
you have some connections.
Yep. If we want to do it, we can do it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Food
For
for
sure.
thought, plenty.
Yeah, and like I said, who knows? Maybe this next 6 months from now we can meet up over in Malaysia, do a little herping over there.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll definitely hit you up if I end up making solid plans.
Oh man, I would love to do that sometime.
All right, boys.
All right, so I think we're wrapping up for now.
Well, gang, this will probably be our last episode before the new year, so
Yeah, see how it goes.
potentially.
Yeah, we'll see how things go with the editing and stuff like that.
Potentially. If so, happy holidays, happy new year, all that jazz. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Reptile Rambling with your co-host Bryant and Nate and our wonderful guest Nilan. This has been a blast, and we'll catch you guys for the next one.
See ya.
Peace.